Loren Ellis is our guest, and we're standing, as you can see, in front of some extremely large photographic art, if you believe this. What we said earlier, it's important now that we talk about this. You can see that these are a number of images on one piece of photographic paper. Now, when I met this young woman, I had to realize what this process really is all about. Loren goes into a dark room by herself, and it's absolutely dark, right? Yes. And you expose various areas of this whole thing without being able to see what, in fact, will be the end result.
Exactly.
So it has to all be in your mind.
Pretty much. I have a basic instinct about design as far as when I place the images. I lay it out kind of generally, but it's basically based on an instinctive feeling for design and composition.
Well, now this has a name. What is its name?
It's called Time Passages.
Time, and what is it supposed to mean to you, not to the beholder, because
right.
The beholder must see in it what he or she wishes, right?
Exactly, yes.
To you it means?
To me, what it was about time passing and the development of people and women and men, and basically it goes back in time to like an X-ray, and these are images from the Renaissance to modern day images of 3 young women. So it's like their time passes from youth to maturity to passing, and then it's the flow of time that grows, and nature kind of comes through and blends through one's life and just blends out.
I don't know whether you can see closely or not, but this is the use of a photographic X-ray. That is the human hand seen as if it were through an X-ray photograph, if you can understand that. And now, if your set is color, you can see that there is color here. That color has been applied by painting.
Yes.
Tell about that.
Okay, after I do the process in the dark room, then I decide if I need color or if I don't. Color is used as an emotional content. I don't like paint the images. I use it to create an emotion, whereas like pinks are feminine, are hot, are moving, and very, very warm colors. So very blood color like form to use. And then that's painted on very gradually and very carefully, because it's a mixture of dyes and paints I've developed, and I paint it on and wipe it off and paint it on, so it gives it kind of an airbrush effect.
This can take it's really a silly thing. There's a famous, how long did it take you, Mr. Van Gogh, to paint that? And the answer is something like 50 years, in the sense that it took one's mental processes that long to learn how to do it. But in physical time, from the beginning to the end, from conception to finished product, how long?
It's about 25 hours.
25 hours.
When an average photograph takes about 10 seconds.
Yeah. That's certainly not Polaroid, is it?
No.
No.
They're one of a kind. That's what's interesting. Because photography, you can always... I don't think it should be, as far as buying art as investment, I don't think people should worry that a photograph can be reproduced, because most photographs are not reproduced as much as some lithographs and etchings, and they're only done in smaller editions. But these are one of a kind, and I usually do maybe 2 or 3 variations of the particular piece, but they're non-reproducible. So it sort of makes some type... I coin it sort of like photographic painting.
Do you make a living doing this?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. And no one else in the whole world, so far as you know, is doing what you're doing precisely.
That's what I've heard in New York from my dealers, from galleries in New York and Paris, Miami, and California even. I had a one-person show at Brooks Institute in Santa Barbara, California, and they were amazed at the technique I use.
Are you a Tampa girl?
Yes.
See? We just keep producing people. We don't even know what we're doing. Can we move slowly over to this
Sure.
one? All right. This is obvious, but probably not. What do you call it?
It's called Escape to the Sea.
If we can come in on it a little bit, you can see that it is also a montage, right?
Mm-hmm. This is more of my blended style. The other piece, Time Passages, is more of my collage style, and this tends to be more of my blended, where I take the negatives and I blend them more. I do both techniques. Also, the color is more pastel. I can get the colors from a very deep, rich color to a very pastel color, depending on the mood and the shape and the form of the piece. This is a very airy piece. I kept it very light grays, very airy, to create the feeling of the sun on the beach, and the color added is just as, again, an emotional context, making no sense where it's painted, but just to create the mood and the feelings of the colors you see.
Okay, stupid question number 9007. This was one photograph?
Yes.
This is another photograph?
Mm-hmm.
This is another photograph, and each of the birds are different photographs, and they're all put there, one on top of the other.
Yes. It's montaged, it's not collaged. I guess you can't see from the audience, or maybe from the audience you can, but from out in the TV audience, that it's a montage piece. It's all one piece of paper, different from a collage. A collage is when you paste things. This is all blended into one piece of paper, which makes it very difficult technically. For if one image comes out too dark or not enough, the whole piece is ruined.
Yeah. Wow. It really is something to behold. We'll talk about how photography is made and some of the tips, right, that you can give to people in the course of making your photograph. Black and white photography particularly, I think, is the most interesting, don't you?
I do. I do. It leaves something to the imagination. It's like it's a thought process, you know, and we think in black and white, and color in our emotions even is kind of an emotional thing. And when I was in graduate school getting my master's, I used, as part of my thesis, I studied young psychology, where you dream in black and white, most people. There are a few people that dream in color, and color is an emotional content in your dream also. So I've kind of come from that study to this subject matter also.
Really? Okay. Serious business. Loren Ellis is our guest name. She's remarkable, and we'll talk about photography. If you'd like to join us on our telephone lines when we come back, we'll give you that opportunity. Special morning, special person. We'll be right back. If you'd like to join us on telephone lines, you're welcome to. Tampa 223-2979, St. Petersburg 576-0026. We were talking about black and white photography a moment ago, and most people really are not aware of what is meant by the grayscale. And I mean, I've never even discussed it with anyone on television before. Let's talk about what the black and white photograph should be.
Yes. The grayscale was invented by Ansel Adams, and everyone probably of all photographers know Ansel Adams because he's the expert in the field. The grayscale is a scale of gray tones from white to black, and really there's an infinite number of grays, but they break the grayscale down into 10 shades of gray from white to black. And a photograph, a technically perfect printed photograph in black and white, should carry either from 0 to 10 all the grayscales, or it should carry 0 to 5 or 5 to 10. Never 1 and 2 and 9 and 10, because it's not considered a well-printed photograph. In my small work, I'm very careful about all of that. In my mural work, of course, I'm not as concerned with that. I'm more into the imagery. Now, of course, if you're working on a specific type of image and you're trying to create a certain mood, then you're going to break away from that. But that is traditionally...
Okay. If you're there, good morning. Hello.
Morning to you.
Hi.
I have a point of concern and a compliment.
All right.
The compliment is that what she does is beautiful, but my point of concern is that her interpretation of what she is presenting and the extensiveness of what she is saying about it should be left up to the viewer.
Yes.
Because we may see different things in her excellence of her presentation.
Well, that's a marvelous concern, sir. That you have that, it speaks well of your intelligence. Many people, we were talking about it yesterday somewhere, many people are on the beta level all the time, someone was saying. That is, not making decisions, not having to think or interpret is what's wrong with this world. The fact that you recognize that your own viewpoint is important is very much in your favor. So, yes, thank you for that compliment. A lot of people want to be told that this is a book and these are glasses, and that makes them happy. I'd rather say, well, what is this and what is this, and let you make up your mind. That's really marvelous of you to say that. You're quite correct. If you're there, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
First of all, I would like to say to Loren, I love your work. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
And my question is, where would you suggest that someone could study photography in this area?
Ooh, that's a heavy. I used to teach myself at the University of South Florida and at Pasco Hernando Community College. It depends on what area you want to go into. There's several classes at USF you can take for non-credit, just as a hobbyist. Hillsborough Community College. I would look into some of the local high schools. They teach very good night classes for people that work during the day.
Yeah. The lesson behind all this is that the fundamentals are available to you at any university, generally speaking, or any community college. Many photo stores who sell photographic equipment also offer courses. The rudiments, the fundamentals may be learned.
Yes.
Beyond that, there's nothing to be learned.
Working, just work.
It's really what it is, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't recommend these short classes, these 2-week intro classes, because you're really going to be more frustrated than anything. I recommend to take at least an 8-week course because it takes time to get into the medium and understand the technical terms and have them explained to you and using them as you're learning them.
Yeah, you know, you're making me think of something. You are going to be appearing some places, or you have something going on?
Yes, I have some of my work exhibited now at the Lock Haven Art Center in Orlando, and it's composed mostly of New York artists and several Florida artists, and about 3 Florida artists. And I'm the only photographer in the show.
Really?
It's interesting, yes.
Yeah?
That's nice.
Really? Anything locally?
Locally, I'm going to be having a show next spring, with an art group I'm a member of, Las Damas to Art in St. Petersburg. You can look for that. And also a show on St. Petersburg Beach with Jewel Miller, who owns Julie Creations. We're going to be having a show together.
Oh, okay. If you'd have perhaps time for one more. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Hi. This is more or less a personal question for Loren. I attended a vocational technical high school in Tampa, and she looked familiar to me, and I was wondering if she had taken any courses there. I really like her work. It's very interesting to me.
Thank you, thank you.
Had you?
Yes, when I was in when I was in undergraduate school, I took a class in commercial art at Tampa Bay Vocational School for a semester, and I really enjoyed it. And it was when I was in painting and drawing, and I was thinking about going into commercial art as a career before I had gotten into photography as much. But yes, I did take a class there.
Silly question, because you can't ask an artist what they're going to do next. They never really know. What do you think you're going to do next?
Well,
in terms of life in general.
Well, probably continuing my work. It's been, accepted so much. And another thing I find very interesting is I've been doing commissions for people and creating fantasies for them, and photographic fantasies, I call it.
Really?
And yes, and I'll photograph people and I'll put them in my murals and do combinations. And I do this one woman, and I photographed her and superimposed her with the ocean and the beach, and it's just so much fun, and they love it.
So it's a kind of a definition of other people's personality as seen through your eyes.
Yes.
That's a very nice idea. Loren Ellis is her name. She's a marvelous artist, and she's one of us. Something we've learned today. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
The opinions expressed on the John Eastman Show are not necessarily those of the management of WTSP-TV. Take a look tomorrow morning at the John Eastman Show. John's guest is Tampa Bay Buccaneer running back Jerry Eckwood. Be a part of the John Eastman Show tomorrow morning at 10:30 on Channel 10.